The article passionately reflects on the enduring hatred fans feel toward the Big Bang Theory characters Greg Pemberton and Kevin Campbell, played by Sean Astin and Kal Penn. Introduced in the episode The Confirmation Polarization, the two physicists are widely disliked for trying to hijack credit for Sheldon and Amy's superasymmetry theory, despite having stumbled upon it by accident and lacking any real understanding or passion. Their audacity peaks when they suggest cutting Amy out of the Nobel Prize race and later accuse Sheldon and Amy of plagiarism. Their eventual downfall is a highlight for many fans, especially when Barry Kripke exposes Greg as a plagiarist, leading to a dramatic unraveling. Kevin, in a desperate attempt to distance himself, reports Greg to salvage his own reputation. The article emphasizes the poetic justice of their fate and praises the actors for portraying such despised characters so convincingly, even noting the irony that Sheldon, a Lord of the Rings fanatic, never acknowledges Astin's role as Samwise Gamgee. It's been 6 years since the two most hated guys in The Big Bang Theory sent me into a blind ballistic rage. I still go nuclear when I see them in reruns. The characters in The Big Bang Theory have always been polarizing, as some fans adore them, while others point out their more problematic traits. But there are two characters that fans almost universally despise, right from their very first appearance. And honestly, it's hard to argue with that opinion. I'm talking about Greg Pemberton and Kevin Campbell, played by the incredibly talented Sean Astin and Kal Penn. And let me tell you, even 6 years later, just thinking about their scenes in The Big Bang Theory still boils my blood. The Big Bang Theory characters, we all have a hard time liking. Believe me when I say this, Greg Pemberton and Kevin Campbell, the two physicists from Chicago, are easily among the most hated characters in The Big Bang Theory. And if you're having trouble remembering why, let me give you a quick refresher. Making their first appearance in The Confirmation Polarization, they show up after having proven Sheldon and Amy's superasymmetry theory. Sheldon and Amy are ecstatic, as they're finally one step closer to Sheldon's lifelong dream of winning a Nobel Prize, but while Sheldon had poured his heart and soul into this work, Greg and Kevin had no passion, no understanding of the theory. They stumbled upon it by accident. And instead of being respectful collaborators, they tried to hijack the credit entirely. At one point, they even tried to convince Sheldon to cut Amy out of the picture so the three of them could claim the Nobel Prize. The audacity! And it doesn't stop there. Later, they have the nerve to accuse Sheldon and Amy of being the imposters, claiming they're the ones stealing work. I was literally blown away by their shamelessness, but I was glad that they eventually got what they deserved, especially after that unbelievably stupid line, "That's the great thing about science, we all get to have our own opinions," leaving me infuriated, and yet, I couldn't help but laugh. And then the icing on the cake, Barry Kripke drops the truth bomb that he went to college with Greg Pemberton and calls him a grade A weasel who built his career on stealing other people's ideas. Suddenly, everything made sense. Greg Pemberton and Kevin Campbell got what they deserved. As much as I hated watching them on the show, getting all over Sheldon and Amy, I loved every moment that led up to their downfall. Watching them get exposed as frauds, well, at least one of them, was incredibly satisfying. I end the episode The Plagiarism Schism. Barry Kripke drops the bomb, Greg plagiarized his college thesis, and Kripke has the receipts to prove it. But Sheldon and Amy are torn about what to do. They're not comfortable stooping to the same level. Meanwhile, I was just sitting there, waiting for karma to do its thing. Thankfully, Leonard steps in and decides to handle it himself before they have the chance to back out. But Sheldon and Amy return the proof to Greg, kicking off a chain reaction that seals Greg's fate. Kevin, his partner, is furious when he finds out about the plagiarism. In a last-ditch move, he reports Greg, hoping to cut ties and position himself as the third person to share the Nobel win with Amy and Sheldon for the superasymmetry theory. Doesn't it feel so good when someone finally gets what they deserve? Especially when it's a poetic slapback that puts them right in their place. I know I'm not the only one who felt this way. Reddit is full of threads dragging these two, calling them some of the most annoying and downright evil characters to ever show up in the series. And kudos to Sean Astin and Kal Penn, both incredibly talented actors, for making it so easy to hate Greg and Kevin. And let's be real, it's almost impressive that Sheldon didn't recognize Aston from The Lord of the Rings, considering how obsessed he is with that trilogy. That alone deserves a mention.